Before we dive into today's show, I got to get your guys' thoughts on this. Who gets the most blame for yesterday's loss? My answer starts with the head coach. I'm going Kevin O'Connell, but you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Vikings Now by Chat Sports. But coming up on today's show, we're going to be diving into the good, the bad, and a whole lot of the ugly following the Vikings' 27-19 loss against the Baltimore Ravens. So let's start off here with the good, and that's going to be around quarterback number 9, J.J. McCarthy. Now, I thought McCarthy, he showed a lot of flashes yesterday. Now, according to PFF, and how they evaluate throw here in the NFL. He had 4 big-time throws. He also had 3 turnover-worthy throws. But 4 big-time throws, is pretty impressive. Now, also a kind of good and bad stat around McCarthy. He's actually leading the NFL right now in average depth of target. So clearly he is pushing the ball downfield, almost sometimes too much, putting the ball in harm's way. So JJ did show some flashes yesterday, but throughout the game he was not good. I'm not saying like JJ had a very impressive performance yesterday, but we did see the big time playability, and that's what you want out of a young quarterback, because I feel like everybody is freaking out. Like, oh, McCarthy looked terrible yesterday. He was one of the biggest reasons why the Vikings lost, and yes, that is true. But he just was making his 4th career start. For me, when I'm evaluating young quarterbacks, not just with the Vikings, but across the entire NFL, I just wanted to see these guys show flashes. And I thought one of the most impressive plays yesterday from JJ was on a 3rd and 6 early on in the game. The Vikings defense just forced a 3-and-out. McCarthy, 3rd and 6 situation, backed up to his own goal line. And the Ravens, they're showing a blitz look here. Kyle Hamilton in the middle, he's going to loop around, and he pretty much just got a free hit on J.J. McCarthy. I mean, J.J. got absolutely leveled on this. Ball just came out at the end, but he delivered probably his most accurate throw of the day. This was right on the left shoulder of Justin Jefferson. It was incredibly impressive. And then the next play, McCarthy found Jalen Naylor streaking down the left sideline, a perfect throw in the breadbasket. So he showed those really wild plays, and he showed those flashes, but also J.J. was also incredibly inaccurate yesterday. We can just call it like it is. I mean, he was throwing the ball over the lot. I do feel like with JJ, like, again, this comes back to just, being patient with him, because, he's got a very live arm, but he needs to work on the touch throws. Like, everything with him right now is just a fastball, and, he has a great fastball, like, especially when he's attacking the middle of the field. He kind of feels like Matthew Stafford or like an old school Brett Favre, where he's just sending in these line drives over the middle, but he also throws with no touch. Like, when he was trying to layer the football on the sideline to Justin Jefferson a couple of times, I mean, he would just sail it about 10 yards over his head. Like, it's not like he was just missing by a couple yards yesterday. He was missing by about 5 to 10 yards on a couple of these throws. But also, Kevin O'Connell and Jefferson did not help him out at all. The 3rd and 1 play call, I still can't get over it. I was up all last night just thinking about it. Why the hell do you not run the ball there? But also, the thing that drove me crazy about KOC in the press conference when he was asked about that, he was like, oh, well, we planned to run the ball on 4th down if JJ didn't throw a pick. Like, all right, get your head out of your ass, KOC. I just hated that answer from him. But yeah, like I was saying, everything's a fastball at JJ right now. And also, even though he had 5 rushes for 48 yards, I still think he needs to use his legs more. It's too often, like yesterday, JJ would step up in the pocket. He's trying to make a wild throw, like, hey, just take off, take that easy 3 or 4 yards. Like, even that first interception he had, 3rd and 6, trying to take a shot downfield to his guy Jefferson, which also on that play as well. There were 3 plays yesterday with Justin Jefferson. Both the interceptions, could have made a play on the football. He didn't. And then also a seed JJ threw to him for a touchdown. He should have caught the ball, but JJ should have took off right there. He had a lot of room to work, but he didn't. And also, how about Kevin O'Connell? How about you help your young quarterback out? And that was so frustrating going back and looking at this game. It's like, like I said at the top of the show, J.J. McCarthy leading the NFL in average depth of target. This was a guy at Michigan where they didn't ask him to do a whole lot, and Kevin O'Connell was just saying, hey, we're going to uncork it. We're going to push the ball down the field. What the hell are you doing? That is not a good stat that JJ is leading the NFL in ADOT. Most people read that as, oh, look at JJ's pushing the ball down the field. That's got to be a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing. He has had 4 career starts. You should be trying to make his life as easy as possible. And KOC, your running backs are almost averaging yesterday 6 yards a carry. Help your young quarterback out. Run the football. Stop having him throw the ball like yesterday 42 times. Also, all these long developing pass plays, it is just incredibly frustrating with this football team. But I'll ask you guys this. Be the teacher for me. Grade J.J. McCarthy's game yesterday. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. For me, like overall, like just that singular performance, I think you got to go probably D plus, C minus for the game. But, what was a positive, were the flashes yesterday. So I'll take that. But, overall, still not a good game from, number 9, which, that alter ego stuff is, running rampant on social media for, right reason. But let's talk about the bad yesterday, and then we'll close out today's show with the ugly. The bad, the Vikings, 8 false starts today, or yesterday, tied for the second most in a game by a home team since the 2005 Rams. Absolutely, horrible. And Kevin O'Connell was talking about it after the game. This is what he had to say. A couple of them came when we were motioning. Maybe there was a little bit more hard count emphasis by JJ at certain times. We have multiple cadences, and guys have really had not a very large issue with the cadence this year. And that last part, guys have not had an issue with the cadence this year. Kevin O'Connell, false starts have been an issue this entire season. The Vikings lead the NFL offensively in pre-snap penalties. They have the most false starts committed in the entire National Football League. What are you talking about? It has been an issue all year. Even if it was Carson Wentz, J.J. McCarthy, it doesn't matter who is the starting quarterback. The Vikings have had issues with this every single game this season. And McCarthy, obviously, he was asked about it after the game. He says, as a quarterback, you're the orchestrator of the orchestra. I take full responsibility for anything that happens on that field, which is right. Like, even though JJ showed his flashes yesterday, but still, the false starts are on the quarterback. Like, that is a quarterback thing. You got to get all of your guys ready to go. JJ struggled with that yesterday. And here were the exact false starts, how they divvied them up. Brian O'Neill had 3. Blake Brandel had 1. Christian Darrisaw had 1. Justin Jefferson had 1. Ben Yurcik had 1. And then, somehow the quarterback got 1 as well. So Brian O'Neill, Christian Darrisaw, Justin Jefferson. I mean, got 5 false starts right there on, 3 of your 3 best players offensively. Like, that's a bad look. And, obviously, J.J. McCarthy gets a lot of this blame too for this, but also Kevin O'Connell does. Like, you run a sloppy football team. The Vikings right now, I think they're the second most penalized team per game in the NFL, and also they're giving the ball away second most in the league. Like, that is on the head coach. They just haven't played like a good coach or a well-coached football team this season, and we've got more about that we'll discuss here in a second. But before we do so, let me tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, the hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks, and the weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick up to the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you guys want to pick more on J.J. McCarthy's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns this weekend against the Chicago Bears, well, now you can't pick all of them in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. You guys can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new Feed tab on Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, and we'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, let's talk about the ugly from the Vikings loss. Obviously, penalties were a major issue, but the thing that bothers me the most about this is Kevin O'Connell. And, the issues that we have seen, even when the Vikings were winning games over the last couple of years, the same issues are still issues 4 years after Kevin O'Connell took over as the head coach. And Adam Patrick tweeting this out, talking about just the Vikings short yardage play calling. This is an absolute joke. The Vikings on 3rd and 1 yard, 2 yard, or 3 yards in J.J. McCarthy's first game. Well, first off, they've ran 12 pass plays to 6 run plays. That's a joke. But they have 0 first downs on the 12 pass plays and 5 first downs on the run plays. I guarantee you, the Vikings know this stat. Like, people on the offensive staff, they know this stat. And KOC does not adjust. But even this, Phil Mackey, shout out to him. When the Vikings pass on 3rd or 4th and short, 2 yards or less, they are 4 for 19 this season, 21%. But when they run 3rd or 4th and short, 2 yards or less, they're 10 of 14. And he makes a good point. Yet, Kevin O'Connell continues to pass in those situations more than almost any team. I don't know what his deal is. He does not adjust. It literally makes no sense why Kevin O'Connell will not just run the football on 3rd and short or 4th and short. Why did you trade for Jordan Mason? Why did you spend a premium draft pick on Donovan Jackson? Why did you give Will Fries $88 million? You wanted to become a more physical football team. That is the softest thing you can do when you have no faith. You have no determination to just run the football on short yardage situations. The defenses know you're not going to run. Everybody knows you're not going to run. The fans know you're not going to run, and you continue to do the same thing over and over again. And how about you help your young quarterback out? It's his 4th career start going against the Baltimore Ravens, and you just put him in tough position after tough position after tough position. It makes no sense. Kevin O'Connell, he is driving me nuts. I'm losing sleep over it. Just please run the football. We have been saying this for the last 4 seasons. And him as a play caller, I think he's regressed. He doesn't have the same juice anymore. And I don't know if that's just the league figuring him out a little bit, but it's truly, truly concerning. And I just don't get it. I really don't. And, this is the most concerning part with KOC. It's the same thing over and over again. It doesn't matter if it's Alexander Madison. It doesn't matter if it's Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. It doesn't matter who is on the offensive line. Enough with the excuses for the guy. He can't run the football. It's his scheme. You know what also drives me freaking crazy? Go watch the Los Angeles Rams. They are one of the most physical football teams in the NFL. They run 13 personnel more than any team in the league. That's 3 tight ends trying to get downhill. Obviously, their defense is super physical, but offensively, they run the ball a whole lot. Now, obviously, Stafford's having a great year, but they are built off the run game. Like Puka Nacua is a great blocker. Devontae Adams out of nowhere, he's a great blocker on the perimeter. They're running heavy sets. They're a physical team. And KOC, it's the same old with them. And also, this is honestly a question for Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi is like, why draft J.J. McCarthy if you weren't going to change your offensive philosophy? Like, we knew who J.J. was coming out of college. We knew he was on a Michigan team where they didn't ask him to do a whole lot, but when he needed to make big-time plays late in the game, he could make those plays, just like against the Lions. That was perfect. Example of who J.J. could be, but against the Ravens, it's just like, hey, number 9, you're going to go air it out the whole game. We're not going to establish run, even though we're able to run the ball. Brian O'Neill said yesterday, I don't know if this was kind of a shot at Kevin O'Connell, like he felt like they were getting downhill a whole lot. It's just incredibly frustrating, and it really makes you think about just like the long-term picture of this franchise, because we always thought we were going to have our franchise head coach in KOC, and now I still think we do. I don't think he's on the hot seat by any means, but don't feel as good about him as we did, heading into the season. So if you guys made it to the end, we appreciate you. Just hit me with a skull down below in the comment section. We'll get on out of here. Let's go Vikes.